Wabarakatuh. Welcome you again tonight to our Mumtia online free Nahu and Sorufu class. And today, inshallah, we are going on to our next topic in Sorufu, which is in the treatment of our book Matnu Bina'i. And now we are going to our lesson 13 on Matnu Bina'i. And our topic today is what? The Bina'u of the Afa'alu Sudasiyya. The Bina'u of the Auzanu of Sudasiyya. And we started that yesterday when we talked about the different constructive usages of the wazno istef'ala, and we talked about 4 usages. Who can remember them? We said 1, litolabi shay'in. We said 2nd, lil musadafa. We said 3rd, li mutawa'ati af'ala, and the final one was for soyuro. So we talked about those 4 usages of the istef'ala waznu yesterday. So if you have not watched it, please go back to video MB013 and watch that. So inshallah we'll be going to other awzan of sudasiyya as treated in this our book, which we are treating Matnul Bina'i. So we'll go straight into the subject of the matter for today. So the first is istef'ala for sudasi, and we'll go through that very briefly. Like a revision, we know istef'ala in mudari istef'ilu, and in masdar it becomes istif'alan. Mawzunuhu istakhraja yastakhriju istikhrajan. So we have an example here, which is what istakhraja, seeking to take something out. So wa alamatuhu an yakuna madihi ala sittati ahrufin. So I think these are things that we already know. So they are telling us that it has 6 letters. That's why we call it sudasi. It has six letters. Bi ziyadati hamzati wasin wata. So you notice that the first 3 letters are what? Hamza, sin, and ta. So it has a ziyada upon a sulasi. So we pick up a sulasi verb, and what? We add 3 ahruf to them. Hamza, sin, and ta at the beginning, and it becomes what? Istef'ala. Wabina uhu. What is it used for? Lita'diya goliban. We talked about ta'diya, which is what? A transitive verb. Goliban. So most of the time it works in the transitive. Wa qad yakunu laziman. And sometimes it can actually be lazim, which is what? Intransitive verb. For example, mithalu muta'addiyu nahwu istakhraja zaidun al-mal. Zaid sought to take out money. Zaid sought to extract money. So that is a muta'addi. You can see that it has a maf'ulun bi. Mithalul lazim nahwu istahrajatin, and this is a lazim, and an example of lazim is that what? Istahjaratin. You can remember this example when we were explaining as-sayyuro, that what? It became istahjaratin. The clay became stone. The clay solidified. So you can see that it is lazim. It does not have a maf'ulun bi. It does not have an object. Wakila litolabil fi'il, which is what? And it is also said, it is also explained that istef'ala is used for what? For seeking something, like we explained yesterday. Nahwu astaghfirullah. I seek what? Forgiveness from Allah. You can see that it comes from Gofaro, and we added what? Hamza, sin, and ta, and it becomes istighfar. So astaghfirullah, I seek forgiveness from Allah, and that is what? That is our istef'ala. I atlubul maghfirata min Allah ta'ala, which means I am seeking maghfirah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that is our first bab under the waznu sudasi, which is what? Istef'ala. So the second we have here is if'ala yaf'alu if'alan. Mawzunuhu i'shaw shaba ya'shaw shibu i'shishaban. So i'shaw shaba means that what? It grew all around, like when it's used when grass grows all over the place, and we say that okay, that the grass has what? I'shaw shaba, it has grown and filled up everywhere. So so you can okay, so I think we will explain more as we read on. Wa alamatuhu, and its sign is that what? An yakuna madihi ala sittati ahruf. That in the past tense, the madi is going to have how many letters? 6 ahruf. like that's why it's called sudasi. Biziyadatil hamzati fi awwalihi wa harfin akhara min jinsi ayni fi'lihi wal wawi bayna al ayni wal lam. Let's take that one by one. Biziyadatil hamzati fi awwalihi, we would have an hamza at the beginning. Wa harfin akhar min jinsi ayn, and we are going to have another harf, another letter that is going to be the same thing as the ayn. And if you look at our wazn here, we said that if you can see that the ayn appears twice. And the example we have here, Aisha Shaba, we can see that this shin, which takes the position of ainul fa'il, it appears twice. Wa wari bayna al-ayni wal lam. So, and between the ainul fi'il and the lamul fa'il, we are going to have we are going to have a waw. So we can see that our ainul fi'il, which is shin here, is duplicated, and in between the two shin we have we have a waw in between. So that's how if'al ala is formed. And this if'al ala in Ashau Shaba, for example, comes from Ashuba. So in Thulathi it is Ashuba, but in Sudasi we add an hamza at the beginning, we add an alif at the beginning, and the waw and a waw in between. We duplicate the ainul fi'il and we put a waw in between, and it becomes Shau Shaba. Wa bina'uhu limubalaghati lazim. It means that we use it to show extremism. We use it to show extreme intensity of a lazim. So Ashuba, if you can remember, we said bina'u of fa'ula is always lazim. So Ashuba, we can already tell that Ashuba is lazim. So when we intensify that lazim, that is what we call mubalaghatul lazim. So Aisha Shaba is an intensification of Ashuba. So for example, annahu yuqalu Ashuba al-ardu, we say that the earth became green, the earth grew plants. Wa idha nabata ala wajhil ardi fil jumla, when all of these plants grow at the same time as a community, as a whole, as a plentiful upon the land, then we say wa yuqalu Aisha Shaba al-ard. We say that the ard Aisha Shaba, it grew a lot of plants. So that is Aisha Shaba. Idha kathura nabatu wajhil ard, when we see that there are lots of plants upon the face of the earth, that is Aisha Shaba. So Ashuba, there are plants upon the face of the earth. Aisha Shaba, there are lots of plants on the face of the earth. So now the third verb that we'll be looking at is our if'awala. If'awala. So it also comes from Thulathi. If'awala yaf'awilu if'awalan. So for example, ijlawaza yajlawizu ijliwazan. So let's explain that. Wa alamatuhu an yakuna madihi ala sittati ahruf. We will see that the madi, we have how many letters? We have 6 letters. Biziyadatil hamzati fi awwalihi, it's going to have an hamza at the beginning. Wal wawaini bayna al-aini wal lam. So the 3 letters are added at one hamza and 2 waws, a waw having shadda between the ainul fi'il and the lamul fi'il. And we can see that here, that from jaladha. But what did we add? We had an hamza at the beginning and a waw between the lam and the dhal, which are the ainul fi'il and lamul fi'il respectively. And our jaladha becomes ijlawaza. Wa binahuhu aidan limubalaghati lazim. Just like if awwala also does mubalaghati lazim. Li'annahu yuqalu jaladha li-ibilu. So for example, we can see that jaladha li-ibilu idha sara sayran bisur'a, when we see that a camel is running fast. Jaladha li-ibilu, the camel ran fast, or it traveled fast. So that is jaladha. So but when it now comes to that is a lazim. So when we now see that when it now comes to mubalaghatul lazim, when it comes to sudasi, it becomes mubalaghatul lazim. So we can already see that this is a lazim. So before mubalaghatul lazim can happen, it means the original verb in Thulathi must have also been a lazim. So jaladha al-ibilu, the camel ran fast. Wa yuqalu ijlawaza li ibilu. And when we now say ijlawaza, that's what mubalaga to lazim is a siron biziyadati sur'atin. When we see that the camel traveled what very very fast, you know, like a Ferrari. So that is what ijlawaza. So the next one that we are going to be taking, which is the last for today inshallah, is what the if'ala yaf'alu if'alan. So mawzunuhu, the wazn is what, for example, is what ihmaru yahmaru ihmiron. So we can see that this is a bit similar to if'ala, which is in the khumasi. When it comes to sudasi, it becomes what if'ala. And wa alamatuhu, so ihmaru, it means that it became very red, it reddened intensely. Wa alamatuhu an yakuna madihi ala sittati ahruf. We can see that the fi'l al-madi has how many letters? It has 6 letters. We are talking about sudasi here, so it always have 6 letters. Biziyadati al-hamzati fi awwalihi. How does it become 6 letters from the original 3? We add what? An hamza at the beginning. Wal alif bayna al-aini wal lam. Between the ain ul fi'l and lam ul fi'l, we put what? We put an alif in between, alif mad. And then wal lam wa harfin akhar min jinsi lami fa'ilihi fi akhirihi. Then we now add another letter at the end, which is the same thing as what the previous lam will fi'l, and that's why our lam will fi'l in if'ala as what, as a shadda, because we add another lam to it. So 2 lams becomes what? Lam shadda. So lam min jinsi lam al fi'l fi akhirih. So we can look at an example as we explained. Wabina'uhu limubalaghatul lazim. Just like the other 2 wazn that we just explained, it is also what mubalaghatul lazim. So we can see that most of the awzan of sudasi, what they really perform is what? Mubalaghatul lazim, to show intensity or exaggeration of what? Of a lazim verb, apart from the istif'ala. So wabina'uhu mubalaghatul lazim. Lakin hadha al-babu ablahu min babil if'ilal. So what we are saying here is that what? This one is actually more extreme than the bab of what? If'ilal. If'ilal is what? Our fi'l madi khumasi, which is if'alla. So now that we now come to sudasi, it becomes if'ilan. So we can remember that if'ala also does mubalagha to lazim, but if'ala is the mubalagha to lazim of the mubalagha to lazim of if'ala. So لأنه يقال حمر زيد. So we can say that what? Zaid became red. إذا كان له حمرة في الجملة. So let's say Zaid's face became red. We can say what? حمر زيد. Zaid became red. ويقال إحمر زيد. That's إفعل the khumasi. That إحمر زيد إذا كان حمرة مبالغة. When you can say that what? Zaid became very red. That's what إحمر. Zaid became very red. But when we now say what you call ihmar Zaidun, Zaid became very very red. You know, when a person becomes angry, their face becomes red, especially when the person is light skinned. So ihmar Zaidun, Zaid became very very red. So إذا كان له حمرة زيادة مبالغة, when the redness is what? Has more extremity than even the what? Than even the mubalagha in if'ala. So that is what we use if'ala for. So, and that is the end of today's lesson inshallah. So today we've treated the sulafiyya mazidun bi thalathatu ahrufin. That is the sudasi that comes from a sulafi that we now add 3 letters to. So those are the sudasi that we treated today, and they are what? Istif'ala, which is used for talabul fi'l, and if'ala, which is used for mubalagha to lazim, if'awala, which is used for mubalagha to lazim, and finally if'ala, which is also used for mubalagha to lazim. So inshallah in our next lesson we'll be looking at the next section of the sudasi, which are the ruba'i, that we'll be looking at the ruba'i mujarrad inshallah in our next lesson. So this is the end of today's lesson. We pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us beneficial knowledge and make this better understood than the teacher has explained it. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik, wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant, wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.